Kyler Murray did not get measured. We're talking to you before he throws at his pro day. Is he still, in your mind, the #1 overall pick in this draft as it comes up shortly, Lewis?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will be because of who's picking #1 overall, unless they get out of there, unless Arizona gets out of there. Is he the #1 quarterback, my top-ranked quarterback? No, he's not. I would take Dwayne Haskins, all things being equal. But I think he will go #1 overall as long as Arizona sits there and some team doesn't decide to offer up a Mike Ditka style trade and say, we'll give you our whole draft, for the next couple of years if we can come up there and pick #1 overall. I think he's going to go there.
Yeah, but Arizona's brass, owner, coach, general manager, they're not at the Oklahoma Pro Day. Read those tea leaves for me, Lewis. Yeah, what does that mean?
You know what that is? I mean, that's saying, look, if we don't really have anything to gain by going there. If we're going to pick a #1 overall, look, we'll have plenty of time and plenty of opportunity to meet with him individually one-on-one. We don't need to show everybody, just because we're not there doesn't mean we're not interested. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, quite honestly, Rich.
Okay.
It doesn't mean anything.
Did you hear anything different than what Charlie Casserly reported on NFL Network about his work habits, study habits, his interviewing at the Combine? Did you hear anything different?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've heard things that were just the opposite, that were 180 the opposite direction. And, that's how this time of year goes. And I think sometimes, especially on the negative, on the downside, you have to be very careful with believing what teams tell you because everybody has an agenda. And sometimes that agenda, it's not very good. And it's a little bit disingenuous. And quite honestly, it's a little bit vicious and unfair. I don't know if you shouldn't be saying those kinds of things about these kids coming out like that can seriously alter, the direction of their draft day. I don't like that kind of thing at all. And I definitely don't like when people then will put it out there and repeat it as if it's the gospel, especially if you weren't there on the down. So I don't like that kind of thing. I have heard very, very positive things about Kyler. And I think ultimately it's not going to affect him. I think he is going to go #1 overall.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.